Most people think muscle growth only happens in the gym. They push harder, lift heavier, and sweat more, yet they wake up sore, drained, and often stuck at the same level. The truth is, your body doesn't build muscle when you train, it builds muscle when you sleep. And tonight, while you're lying in bed, there are two powerful vitamins that can literally switch on recovery, repair broken fibers, and rebuild stronger, leaner muscles overnight. If you want to wake up stronger tomorrow than you are today, listen closely. When most people think of muscle growth, they picture the intense hours in the gym, the sweat dripping down their face, the heavy weights being lifted, the grind that pushes them to the limit. But here's the surprising truth. Those hours of hard work don't actually build muscle. Exercise is the stimulus, yes, but the growth itself, the rebuilding, the transformation that happens later quietly while you are resting and most powerfully while you sleep. Sleep is not wasted time. It is the body's most valuable window for repair and recovery. When you close your eyes at night, your body doesn't just shut down. Instead, it turns on its most important repair systems. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone impulses, and this hormone acts like a construction manager, telling your cells to repair the micro tears in your muscle fibers that occurred during training. These tears are normal, even necessary, because they are the signal that tells your body to rebuild those fibers thicker, denser, and stronger. But without sleep, that rebuilding never happens fully. You could train harder and harder, but if you don't give your body the right sleep window, your muscles remain in a state of breakdown. It's also during sleep that your body manages its hormonal balance. Testosterone, another critical hormone for muscle growth, peaks during the night. This hormone is not only about strength, but about vitality, energy, and the ability to sustain training progress over the long term. Without adequate high-quality sleep, testosterone levels fall, leaving the body sluggish, recovery incomplete, and growth stalled. At the same time, cortisol, the stress hormone, should decline at night. If you cut your sleep short, cortisol stays elevated, and this hormone does the opposite of what you want. It breaks down muscle tissue and stores fat. So when you hear that muscle is built in the gym, it's only half the truth. The gym breaks you down, sleep builds you back up. Sleep is the secret anabolic state that most people overlook. Another layer of this repair process is how sleep affects protein synthesis. During the day, when you eat protein, amino acids flood your bloodstream, but it is at night that your body most efficiently uses those amino acids to build and repair muscle fibers. Think of it like a construction site. The raw materials have been delivered, but the builders only come out when the lights are off and the city is asleep. That's exactly what your body does at night. It takes the nutrients you've consumed and puts them to work, laying down new muscle tissue. This is why you can wake up stronger and fuller after a night of quality rest. What's fascinating is that the body has a natural rhythm for this, tied to the circadian clock. Growth hormone release peaks in the first few hours of deep sleep, so if you stay up too late or if your sleep is fragmented, you miss that prime anabolic window. Even if you eventually sleep in, the hormonal surge has passed and the opportunity is lost. This is why athletes and high performers are obsessive about sleep timing. They know the body can't cheat its own clock. It's not just about quantity of sleep, but quality and consistency. 7 to 8 hours of deep, undisturbed rest is the foundation of recovery. Now think about the alternative. If you are sleep deprived, your body does the opposite of what you want. Growth hormone release is suppressed, testosterone production drops, cortisol rises, protein synthesis slows, and inflammation increases. Instead of rebuilding stronger muscles, you are stuck with fatigue, soreness, and weakness. Over time, this doesn't just stall progress, it can reverse it. You could train faithfully if I'll follow the right program, eat the right foods, but without sleep, you're running uphill with a weighted vest. It is the hidden variable that determines whether all your effort pays off. So when we say sleep is the body's true growth window, it is not exaggeration. It is the core of the entire process. Sleep turns hard work into visible results. Sleep transforms the breakdown of training into the breakthrough of growth. Sleep takes you from exhausted and sore to stronger, leaner, and more resilient. And the best part is, this is not something you need to buy or something complicated you need to learn. It is something you already have access to every single night. When you treat your sleep as seriously as you treat your training, you unlock the most powerful tool for building muscle, increasing strength, and waking up stronger than the day before. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but in truth, it acts much more like a hormone than a simple nutrient. And when it comes to building muscle, its role is far greater than most people realize. Think of it as a switch that activates the very machinery inside your cells responsible for repair and growth. Without it, your body struggles to synthesize proteins, Your recovery slows down and your muscles never reach their full potential. While we often associate vitamin D with bone health, its influence extends deep into the way muscles contract, recover, and strengthen, especially while you sleep. When you train, you're creating controlled damage in your muscles. That damage is not a bad thing. It is the trigger for adaptation. But adaptation requires the body to rebuild, and rebuilding requires precise instructions from your cells. Vitamin D plays a central role in sending those instructions. It directly influences the expression of genes involved in muscle protein synthesis, meaning that without enough vitamin D, the blueprint for building new muscle fibers is incomplete. You could be eating the best diet in the world and training with perfect form, yet if your vitamin D levels are low, your body simply cannot respond to the stimulus the way it should. Another overlooked role of vitamin D is in calcium metabolism. Muscles contract because calcium floods into the muscle fibers, initiating the process of shortening and producing force. If calcium isn't managed properly, those contractions become weaker, coordination suffers, and the risk of cramping or nighttime twitching increases. Vitamin D ensures calcium is absorbed from your diet and delivered where it's needed most, into your bones and muscles. During sleep, this function is critical because it keeps your muscles relaxed enough to recover, but primed enough to rebuild stronger. Low vitamin D can leave you waking up stiff, sore, or even with subtle aches that slow you down in the gym. But perhaps the most important influence of vitamin D is hormonal. It has a direct connection to testosterone and growth hormone, the very drivers of muscle repair and growth. Studies consistently show that men and women with higher vitamin D levels also have higher testosterone levels, which translates to more energy, greater recovery, and stronger gains over time. Without this vitamin, testosterone struggles to rise to its optimal level, leaving you at a disadvantage even if you're doing everything else correctly. Imagine pressing down on the accelerator of your training, but vitamin D is the missing fuel in the tank. You can only go so far before progress stalls. Vitamin D deficiency is shockingly common. Modern lifestyles keep people indoors, working under artificial light, away from the natural sun that our bodies evolved to depend on. Even those who do spend time outside may not absorb enough, especially in colder climates or darker months. This widespread deficiency explains why so many people plateau in their fitness journey or deal with unexplained fatigue, sore muscles, and slower recovery times. It's not that their training is wrong, it's that their body doesn't have the biological foundation to respond. When you take vitamin D, especially in the evening alongside a balanced diet, you are giving your body the tools to maximize the nighttime repair process. As you fall asleep, your body releases growth hormone and testosterone, and with vitamin D available, those signals are amplified, protein synthesis becomes more efficient, and recovery accelerates. What's more, vitamin D also helps reduce systemic inflammation. After a hard workout, inflammation is normal, but excessive inflammation slows recovery and increases soreness. Vitamin D helps keep this response under control, allowing healing without dragging out the pain. Think of vitamin D as the quiet foundation under everything else. You may not notice it in the same way you notice a protein shake or a workout session, but without it, the entire structure of growth crumbles. With it, you are not only protecting your bones and preventing deficiencies, but actively supporting the most important processes of muscle repair. When you combine good sleep with optimal vitamin D levels, you create the perfect environment for growth hormone release, testosterone production, calcium management, and protein synthesis to all work together seamlessly. And that is why vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It is the invisible switch that turns sleep into strength, repair into resilience, and training into real results. Magnesium is often called the relaxation mineral, but that simple description doesn't capture the full scope of its importance, especially for muscle growth and recovery. Imagine your body as a complex orchestra. Hormones, enzymes, and cellular processes all need to play in harmony. Magnesium is the silent conductor that keeps everything coordinated. Without it, the music falls apart. For athletes, lifters, or anyone trying to build strength, magnesium is the difference between waking up sore and fatigued, or waking up refreshed, recovered, and ready to train again. Its power lies in the way it works quietly behind the scenes during the hours when you're not moving at all while you sleep. One of magnesium's most important roles is calming the nervous system. All day long, your body is under stimulation. Training is a stressor, work is a stressor, even constant notifications and blue light from devices keep your nervous system wired. To recover, the body must switch from a state of stress, known as sympathetic dominance, into a state of rest and repair, called parasympathetic mode. Magnesium is essential for this shift because it regulates neurotransmitters like GABA that quiet the brain and relax the body. This is why people deficient in magnesium often struggle with falling asleep, staying asleep, or feeling truly rested. For muscle growth, this deep, restorative sleep is non-negotiable, because it's during these hours that growth hormone peaks and the rebuilding process begins. Magnesium is also directly tied to how muscles use energy. Every contraction of your muscle fibers depends on ATP, the body's energy currency. But ATP doesn't function on its own. It must be bound to magnesium to become biologically active. Without enough magnesium, energy production falters, leaving muscles weaker and recovery slower. You may feel this as fatigue, sluggish workouts, or a plateau despite consistent effort. It's not that your body doesn't want to grow stronger. It's that it lacks the mineral needed to unlock the energy for that growth. This explains why magnesium deficiency often shows up as muscle cramps, twitches, spasms, especially at night. The muscles simply can't relax properly without it. Another crucial role magnesium plays is in balancing insulin sensitivity. Insulin is not just about blood sugar. It's the hormone that helps shuttle nutrients like glucose and amino acids into muscle cells where they can be used for repair and growth. If insulin is inefficient, your muscles starve even if you've eaten the right foods. Magnesium improves insulin sensitivity, ensuring that the protein you consumed after training actually reaches the muscle fibers that need repair. This makes the rebuilding process more effective, especially overnight when the body is primed for protein synthesis. Magnesium also reduces inflammation, which is key after intense exercise. Training naturally creates micro damage and an inflammatory response. That's normal and necessary, but if inflammation stays elevated, it slows healing and prolongs soreness. Magnesium helps regulate this by lowering markers of systemic inflammation and calming the stress response, combined with its ability to reduce cortisol. The body's primary stress hormone, magnesium, sets the stage for optimal recovery. Cortisol breaks down muscle tissue when it remains too high, and magnesium acts almost like a brake pedal, keeping cortisol under control so the body can rebuild instead of break down. It's no coincidence that studies link low magnesium levels to poor sleep quality, higher rates of fatigue, and weaker performance. Modern diets, heavily processed and stripped of minerals, leave many people deficient without even realizing it. Coffee, alcohol, and stress all deplete magnesium further, creating a cycle of poor recovery and subpar growth. By restoring magnesium, you are not just adding another supplement, you are restoring balance to the entire system that controls sleep, energy, recovery, and strength. When you take magnesium in the evening, you align perfectly with your body's natural rhythm. As you wind down, magnesium soothes the nervous system, lowers cortisol, improves insulin action, and prepares the muscles to relax fully. By the time you're in deep sleep, your muscles are primed to absorb nutrients, repair damaged fibers, and grow back stronger. You wake not only feeling rested, but measurably better prepared for your next workout. The soreness fades faster, the energy is higher, and the strength gains are consistent. In short, magnesium is not just about preventing cramps or helping you fall asleep. It is a cornerstone of the entire recovery process. It transforms the hours of stillness at night into hours of powerful growth and repair. It allows the body to shift from stress into healing, ensures energy is available for rebuilding, and delivers nutrients where they are needed most. Without it, progress is delayed, sleep is shallow, and muscles remain tired. With it, the body has everything it needs to recover deeply and grow stronger night after night. Magnesium may be invisible in the way it works, but its impact is unmistakable. You don't just sleep better, you wake up stronger. When we think about vitamins and minerals, it is tempting to view them in isolation. Vitamin D here, magnesium there, each with its own separate job. But the truth is your body doesn't work in compartments. It works as an interconnected system where nutrients often depend on each other to be effective. This is especially true for vitamin D and magnesium, two nutrients that don't just complement each other, but actually unlock each other's potential. Trying to build muscle with only one of them is like trying to start a car with only the key but no fuel, or with fuel but no key. You need both to get the engine running, and when they work together, the results are exponentially more powerful, especially while you sleep. Vitamin D is well known as a critical hormone, like vitamin that drives muscle protein synthesis, testosterone support, and calcium regulation. But here's the hidden detail. Vitamin D must be activated in the body before it can do its job, and that activation requires magnesium. Without enough magnesium, vitamin D remains in its inactive form, unable to trigger the processes of growth and repair. So even if you're taking vitamin D supplements or getting sun exposure, if magnesium is low, your body cannot use it effectively. This is why many people take vitamin D but still feel no difference. It's not the vitamin that's missing, it's the magnesium that powers it. On the flip side, Magnesium itself thrives when vitamin D levels are optimal. Vitamin D regulates the proteins that transport magnesium across cell membranes, making it more bioavailable where it's needed most inside your muscle cells. Together, they form a feedback loop that ensures energy is produced, calcium is balanced, hormones are supported, and muscle fibers are rebuilt efficiently. Alone, each is helpful, but together they create a state where recovery is faster, sleep is deeper, and growth is sustained. Consider the nighttime repair cycle. When you fall asleep, growth hormone rises and protein synthesis begins. Vitamin D signals the body to use amino acids to repair damaged muscle fibers, but magnesium provides the energy currency ATP for those processes to actually happen. Without magnesium, the blueprint from vitamin D is there, but there are no workers to carry out the construction. Without vitamin D, magnesium fuels processes that lack direction and focus. With both, you have the full construction team working on schedule, transforming breakdown from your training into stronger, thicker muscle fibers by the time you wake. The synergy also extends to hormonal balance. Vitamin D boosts testosterone and supports growth hormone, both of which are critical for muscle development. Magnesium, meanwhile, reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that tears down muscle when elevated, and improves insulin sensitivity, ensuring nutrients are delivered directly to the muscles. Together, they create a hormonal environment that is both anabolic and restorative. Testosterone and growth hormone are free to do their work, while cortisol is kept in check. This balance is what allows you to wake up not just rested, but stronger. Another fascinating aspect of their partnership is how they influence calcium regulation. Vitamin D ensures calcium is absorbed, while magnesium makes sure calcium is delivered properly to muscles and bones rather than accumulating in arteries or soft tissue. During sleep, this matters tremendously. Muscles need to relax fully to recover, and magnesium helps them release contraction, preventing cramps and spasms. At the same time, calcium is guided into the right places by vitamin D. Without magnesium, excess calcium can cause stiffness and impaired muscle function. Without vitamin D, calcium is not absorbed efficiently in the first place. The two work together to ensure that your muscles not only contract effectively in the gym, but also relax deeply at night. What this means for anyone looking to build muscle is clear. You cannot afford to neglect the synergy between these two nutrients. Relying on one without the other leaves you only halfway to your goal. If vitamin D is the spark, magnesium is the fuel. If vitamin D is the architect, magnesium is the builder. If vitamin D is the instruction manual, magnesium is the hands that put it together. Only when they are combined does the body have everything it needs to transform sleep into a powerful anabolic state. The practical takeaway is simple but profound. By ensuring you have enough of both vitamin D and magnesium in your daily routine, especially before sleep, you optimize every hour of rest. Your body will not just drift through the night, it will actively rebuild. Protein synthesis will run more smoothly, hormones will be in balance, inflammation will stay under control, and energy will be available exactly where it's needed. You'll wake up with muscles that are not only repaired, but measurably stronger and more resilient. This is the hidden partnership that turns ordinary sleep into the ultimate muscle building tool. Building muscle is not just about the hours you spend in the gym. It's about what happens afterward in the quiet of your nighttime routine. The truth is, the body thrives on rhythm and consistency. Just as you train with structure, you must also recover with structure. Creating a simple but intentional nighttime ritual is the most effective way to transform ordinary sleep into an anabolic environment where your muscles are actively being rebuilt. This ritual doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to align with how your body naturally works so that each night becomes a window of growth. The process begins with timing. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs sleep, digestion, and hormones, thrives on consistency. Going to bed at the same time each night signals your body to release melatonin, the sleep hormone, and prepares the brain for restorative rest. When you consistently miss this rhythm, even by an hour or two, your growth hormone release, which peaks in the first stage of deep sleep, can be blunted. That's why one of the most powerful parts of your ritual is simply committing to a set bedtime. Over time, your body anticipates it, hormones align, and your sleep becomes deeper and more efficient. Once timing is set, the second pillar of your ritual is nutrition. What you consume in the hours before sleep determines what raw materials your body has to rebuild muscle. A dinner rich in protein provides the amino acids necessary for repair, while pairing it with healthy fats helps keep you satiated and supports hormonal balance. A light source of slow digesting protein, such as Greek yogurt or casein, can extend the availability of amino acids throughout the night, reducing the risk of muscle breakdown during fasting hours. Adding foods rich in magnesium, like leafy greens, nuts, or seeds, or supplementing when needed, provides the relaxation mineral that calms the nervous system and enhances sleep quality. Vitamin D taken consistently ensures your repair machinery is primed and ready. The synergy of these nutrients means that by the time you lie down, your body has both the blueprint and the building blocks for growth. Hydration also plays a subtle but vital role. Many people overlook water intake in the evening for fear of waking up during the night, but dehydration itself disrupts sleep and recovery. Muscles are nearly 75% water, and even mild dehydration increases cramping, stiffness, and delayed recovery. The ritual here is not to overload on fluids before bed, but to ensure steady hydration throughout the day and a small glass of water with your evening meal. This balance supports muscle repair without disturbing sleep. The environment you create before sleep is another powerful element of the ritual. Blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, delaying sleep onset and disrupting circadian rhythms. Replacing screens with a calming routine, dim lighting, reading, stretching, or breath work sends the signal that the body can shift into parasympathetic mode, the state of rest and repair. Even a 5-minute practice of slow breathing or light stretching can relax tense muscles, lower cortisol, and prepare the body to enter deep sleep more quickly. These small, intentional choices compound over time into measurable improvements in sleep quality. Consistency turns this ritual into a signal. Each time you repeat it, your body learns what comes next. Just as warming up prepares you for training, a nighttime ritual prepares you for recovery. The brain and body thrive on patterns, and when they recognize that certain cues, such as dimming lights, shutting off devices, or sipping a calming tea, are linked with rest, they begin to respond automatically. Falling asleep becomes easier, staying asleep becomes more natural, and waking up feels more restorative. The beauty of a nighttime ritual is that it magnifies the impact of the nutrients we've discussed. Vitamin D works best when your sleep window is protected, and magnesium works best when stress is low and the body is allowed to rest deeply. Protein synthesis peaks when amino acids are readily available, and hydration ensures circulation delivers them where they're needed. All of these benefits are tied together not by chance, but by the choices you make in the hours before bed. When practiced consistently, this ritual transforms 7 to 8 hours of sleep from passive rest into active growth. You don't just pass time lying in bed, you build muscle, regulate hormones, repair tissues, and prepare your body for another day of strength. You wake up not just feeling better, but physically stronger than you were the day before. And that is the hidden power of a nighttime ritual. It's not about adding more work to your day, but about setting up your night so that while you do nothing, your body does everything it needs to create the progress you've been chasing.